Okay, just a quick video to show you how to shorten the vamp of a pointe shoe. First of all, what you want to do is put your pointe shoe on and see roughly how shorter you want to make it. It's very important that you use a tape measure and make sure that you measure it out exactly from the middle of the drawstring. Can you see that there? I've done mine a centimetre shorter. And then you want to mark it with a pen, and then you want to go from like here and then drag it out and then mark again. Then you're going to want to unpick the drawstring casing using sharp scissors and pull the casing all the way back to about here, and then you want to cut straight down the middle with some sharp scissors and then along the lines, and you can figure out how it feels. And you might want to take this bit just a little bit further down to about here, just so it's a nice V. You don't have to do a V shape, but I prefer a V shape vamp, so that's why I'm doing it to these. So you don't want to go too short along here, otherwise you will ruin the shoe. So it's recommended to do it to an old pair first, so you get the hang of it. Here's a shoe that I've already unstitched and cut. As you can see, I've cut here a bit longer down. Again, don't go too far with this, because if you go too far, the shoe will be absolutely useless. It will have no support. The reasons for shortening the vamp can be because you've got short toes like me, and a long vamp is just too much, and you can't get through the demi point, and you're not getting onto your box correctly. And also, some people just generally find it a lot better. Remember, the idea is you want to make sure that the vamp still covers your toes and is in line with your bunion joint. So if you go too low, then your toes are going to pop out and you're going to have like a banana foot on point, which is not the idea. So never go too short. 1 centimetre is usually enough. You can get custom order Grishkos. Feel free to contact me, I can help with that. Anyways, so I've cut here, as you can see. When you unpick the drawstring casing, you will find it's a bit tough to do because it's folded over and there's like a little knot. Let me just show you the other shoe a sec. Can you see inside there the way the drawstring casing is crossed over, and it's quite tough to get to? If you basically just take a pair of scissors or a sharp needle and then unpick it, it's quite tough to do, but once you've got that first stitch out, it's really easy to pull the drawstring casing back. And you want to take your scissors and basically go along the stitching of the drawstring casing and cutting each little stitch away. And yeah, take it back to about here, and then always be very precise with your measurements, because you don't want to go too far. Then basically, to put the drawstring casing back on, you want to first of all ensure that you stitch round this part first without the drawstring casing there, to make sure you've got a nice sturdy seam. And you want to do that with a needle and some thick thread, preferably matching colour. And you want to do like a darning stitch, like shown in my darning video. And you want to make sure that you go from where you've cut it all the way along, putting it all back together again, and then you can put the drawstring casing back on. But do remember, you don't want to sew through the drawstring itself, and you want to make sure that you've got enough leeway so when you can actually pull the drawstrings. I'm just going to go ahead and do that now, then I can show you what it looks like. So you want to pull your needle through, make sure you go through all the layers of the shoe, and like my darning video, you pass the needle through the loop you've made to create a chain stitch. And then you want to pull that nice and tight. Basically, you want to do that all around the vamp, down to the sides here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. There we go, a quick chain stitch around the vamp there. You don't need to be very particular with it, just enough so it's holding the layers of fabric together. And now what you want to do is you're going lay your drawstring where it should be on the shoe, and you'll go see where it's like a little fold naturally in the drawstring casing. You're going to want to wrap it round here so the drawstring's running through, and carefully you're going to push the needle through that layer of the drawstring casing, going through here, coming out the other side, and you're going to do tiny stitches just like the shoe was originally. The key here is to keep tight small stitches. You don't want to go too big, otherwise it's not going to hold together. It's quite tricky to do this, so you might need a bit of practice, and I also recommend putting some some little sewing tacks along to keep it all together, because it is very fiddly. All in all, once you've got the hang of doing this, it should take you about half an hour to do a pair of shoes. I'm going to go ahead and start sewing this bit now. Just to show you what it's like to take the drawstring casing off, I'm just doing the other shoe now. So as you can see, you've got these little stitches. I'm trying to hold my iPhone and film this at the same time. So you want to basically push through the little stitches and cut away. Then as you can see, it gets really nice and loose, like so. And I'll show you in a second how I cut the vamp. Okay, so as you can see, I've cut one bit of the vamp, and I've gone down the centre and then trimmed there. And now I'm going to do this bit. So basically line up your scissors and trim. It might be a bit tough to do, so you might need to use some force, and then you'll get bits where it don't come away, so you basically just pull it off like that. And it's key to remember, do small amounts first, don't go crazy, because you won't be able to put back what you've taken away. So now I've done that bit, I'm going to take it down a little bit further. Once you've cut your vamp down, put your shoes on, go on point and see how it feels. The idea is you want to feel on your platform, but you don't want to have compromised any support in the shoe. So you don't want to be seeing your toes, you don't want to see your bunion joint. You want to make sure that your foot is still supported around the sides of the shoe, and you want to make sure that if you have gone too low, then basically you're going to feel really wobbly on the sides of your foot. You're going to basically go over too far in your shoe. So do be careful and try this on old shoes first. Okay, so here's one completed shoe. As you can see, I've done tiny little stitches. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to do as many as you can. When you get to the middle part of the drawstring, it's quite hard to secure it. You want to do a few more stitches to make sure it's nice and secure there. And now I can go ahead and do the other one. If you have any questions about this clip, please just leave them below and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.